For weeks, everything seemed normal. The halls were quiet, the classrooms were calm, and the teachers and students tried to move on as if nothing had happened. But even silence can be deceiving. At first, it was just whispers, students saying they heard something in the night. Then came the sounds, faint, distant, but unmistakable. The clicking of heels. Koi, koi, koi. At first they ignored it, convinced it was their imagination. But the sounds got louder. Closer, as if daring someone to investigate. When the first student claimed to see her, no one believed them. But soon more students began to whisper the same story. A shadowy figure in the hallways, red heels gleaming even in the dark. Lady Koi Koi had returned, and what she wanted this time, no one could imagine. Let me tell you how it all continued. The rumors spread like wildfire. Some students packed their bags pretending to be sick so they could leave for home. Others huddled together in the dormitories, whispering prayers and clinging to their blankets, too scared to sleep. But no one felt safe, not even the teachers. By the third week of Lady Koi Koi's haunting, the school administration could no longer ignore what was happening. The headmistress called an emergency meeting with the teachers. "This is getting out of hand," she said, her voice shaking. "First the footsteps, then the sightings, and now students are refusing to attend classes. If we don't address this, the school's reputation will be ruined." The teachers exchanged uneasy glances. Everyone knew what was happening, but no one dared to speak it aloud. Finally, Mr. Aide, the oldest teacher, cleared his throat. "Madam, we all know what this is. It's her, Lady Koi Koi. Her spirit won't rest because of how she died." A heavy silence filled the room. No one wanted to acknowledge the truth, but it was impossible to deny. "What do we do?" one of the younger teachers asked, her voice barely above a whisper. Mr. Aide sighed. "There's only one thing we can do. We need to call someone who understands these things. An herbalist or a spiritualist. Someone who can help us appease her spirit before it's too late." The headmistress hesitated but eventually agreed. Early the next morning, Mr. Aide traveled to a nearby village to meet with a well-known herbalist named Baba Olowu. Baba Olowu was a tall, thin man with piercing eyes and a presence that commanded respect. He listened quietly as Mr. Aide explained the situation, nodding slowly as the teacher described the strange sounds and sightings. "This spirit is angry," Baba Olowu said finally. "It was wronged in life and now it seeks vengeance. But be warned, spirits like this do not forgive easily. Appeasing her will not be simple." "What do we need to do?" Mr. Aide asked, desperate. Baba Olowu stood and began gathering his tools, a leather pouch filled with herbs, a carved wooden staff, and a small clay pot painted with strange symbols. "I will come to the school tonight," he said, "but I need absolute silence while I work. No one must interfere or the consequences will be severe." That evening, the students were confined to their dormitories while Baba Olowu prepared for the ritual. The air was thick with tension, and even the teachers were visibly nervous. Baba Olowu stood in the center of the school's main hallway, where the footsteps were often heard. He placed the clay pot on the floor and sprinkled herbs around it, murmuring chants in a language no one understood. The teachers watched from a distance, their breaths held as the herbalist worked. As the ritual progressed, the atmosphere grew colder. The air seemed to hum with an unnatural energy, and a faint sound echoed through the hallway. "Koi, koi, koi." The teachers froze. The sound was unmistakable, the clicking of heels. It grew louder, closer, as if something unseen was walking toward them. Baba Olowu raised his staff, his voice rising as he chanted louder. The clay pot began to shake, and the herbs around it burst into flames. The teachers gasped, but Baba Olowu remained focused. "She's here," he said, his voice steady. "Do not move." A shadow appeared at the end of the hallway. It was faint at first, like a wisp of smoke, but it grew darker, more solid, with every passing second. The sound of heels clicking against the floor echoed louder and louder, until it was deafening. The figure stepped into the light. It was her, Lady Koi Koi. Her red heels gleamed, and her face was as pale as death. Her eyes, hollow and filled with rage, locked onto Baba Olowu.
"Why have you disturbed me?"
Her voice echoed, cold and sharp like broken glass. Baba Olowu didn't flinch. "You have caused enough suffering," he said firmly. "It is time for you to rest." Lady Koi Koi laughed. A chilling, hollow sound that made the teachers shiver.
"Rest? I will not rest until they pay for what they did to me."
Baba Olowu raised his staff, but before he could continue the ritual, Lady Koi Koi let out a blood-curdling scream. The hallway lights flickered, and a powerful gust of wind knocked Baba Olowu off his feet. The clay pot shattered, and the flames extinguished. Lady Koi Koi's figure disappeared into the shadows, but her laughter echoed through the hallways. Baba Olowu stood slowly, his face pale. "She is too powerful," he said, his voice shaking. "Something is binding her to this place. Until we find it, she cannot be stopped." The teachers were silent, their faces filled with fear. "What do we do now?" the headmistress asked, her voice trembling. Before Baba Olowu could answer, a loud crash echoed from the dormitories. Screams followed, chilling and desperate. The teachers turned toward the sound, their hearts pounding. Whatever was happening, it was clear. Lady Koi Koi's wrath had only just begun. And so the terror of Lady Koi Koi continued, growing darker with every passing night. But what was binding her to the school? And could she ever be stopped?